Hey, it's Tim from Budget Bronco. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a really simple and frankly not all that impactful mod, but one that I think you might want to consider if you have a non-sasquatch Bronco. It's super easy to do, not very expensive, and one that I think will make your Bronco look a little bit better. I'm going to show you that right now. It is the crash bars. If you have a non-Sasquatch Bronco, you know it has these crash bars installed from the factory behind the front wheel and another one in front of the front wheel. I've always thought since the minute I saw these, man, that just looks bad. A big open hole there. It really should have come with some kind of cover on them. Ford didn't do that, so I'm going to show you how to do that today. In addition to making it look a little bit better, it's going to keep gunk, especially if you go mudding. Crud is just going to get all caked up in there and be really hard to clean out. So I'm going to show you how to cap these crash bars and keep your Bronco looking good. So let's go. I will show you the caps that I purchased to make this project work. First, for the rearmost crash bars, we're going to use these square-sized plugs. The part number on them is SQR 2-10-14. Nice thing, you can find these on Amazon. It's only $6. You'll get 4 of them. That's good because I am going to show you have to cut these plugs a little bit. So I think it'll be nice to have a couple extras in case you mess up on the cutting. And you'll have a couple spares to work with. For the foremost crash bars, unfortunately, I have found these also on Amazon. Part number RER 2x3-10-14. But Amazon only sells them in a pack of 10. You can buy them, and unfortunately, that's also about $30. Give them to friends. That's what I plan on do. Keep some in my glove box when I meet up with people. If somebody's interested in, just kind of hand them out. Or maybe you can search that part number and find other places that might sell them in smaller quantities. But part number right there, these will fit really nicely on the front crash bars. While we're talking about crash bars, a little public service announcement. If you have crash bars on your vehicle, i.e. you don't have the Sasquatch package, and you can leave those crash bars in place, please do. They serve a purpose. You'll see in this recent crash video, when you have a front-on collision, there's a lot of material at the front of the Bronco that absorbs all that energy, crumple zones and bumper and lots of good stuff to keep you safe. When you have this offset collision, which is a pretty common thing that you might have if you get in an accident, unfortunately, a car coming the other direction and you kind of clip each other, there's nothing to really keep this wheel in place, and it generates a lot of force. Even in this crash test, you'll see that wheel just kind of pushes right into where your feet are. And in the crash test, they actually noted that there was some intruding into the passenger cabin. So that's what that crash bar is there to prevent. Keeps that tire from coming into the cabin and hurting you. So if you can leave your crash bars in place, please do. Okay, I've got the front wheel turned a little bit inward, just more so to make it easier to film. You don't need to do that to get this cap on. The good news is this 2-inch by 3-inch cap fits perfectly in the front of the wheel crash bar without any modifications necessary. It's a teeny bit loose. You might want to consider maybe putting a little bit of RTV sealant around the edge before you install it as a possible option, but you don't need to. It fits in there pretty snugly. I really don't think you need it. It fits in there snugly, give you a nice seal. You can see it matches the color good. Fits pretty much perfectly. No modifications necessary. So for the front, in front of the wheel crash bar, perfect fit. No mods necessary. Now I'll show you the behind the wheel. Back here behind the wheel, unfortunately, this is not a perfect square. The cap that you purchased, I could not find any cap that fits this perfectly because it's just oddly not quite square. So we're going to have to modify this perfectly square plug. It fits in one direction, you can see nicely, but it overhangs on this side. So we're going to have to do a little bit of cutting to get it to fit. I'll show you how to do that now. It's really easy. So you just need a measuring device. You don't need fancy calipers like this. You could use a ruler and a sharp X-Acto knife. You want to measure in about 1/2 inch from the outside of the ribs to the cap. I'll just use my thumb to kind of mark it there. And then you essentially want to cut off that 1/2 inch worth. So the plastic is soft enough with a sharp blade, you can just cut right down through it like that. And then do the same on the other side. Again, I'll measure in just about a 1/2 inch, not too scientific there. With my thumb, use my X-Acto blade to trim off that 1/2 inch worth, cut straight down. And then be careful here, you don't want to cut yourself, obviously. I need to take off all of that plastic. So we're just going to cut around the outside. And the plastic is soft, so it's not too difficult. Just like that. And I'll use the X-Acto knife and trim this up a little bit, but you can see that's what it will look like once you've trimmed off about a 1/2 inch worth. So now with that little bit trimmed off, I'm going to put the trimmed side facing away from the wheel. And just thinking if more likely any kind of spray from the tire is going to be coming from this direction, so it makes more sense to have the open side facing away from the tire. And with that little bit trimmed off, it'll fit right in here. Now again, if you maybe you're worried, hey, capping this is going to trap moisture inside there and force things to rust, don't be worried. Look, you can see it's open on the other end, so any water that might get in there is going to drain out the other side. And with that little bit cut off and the gap facing towards the rear, fits perfect. Overhangs just a little bit. Another good reason to have it facing this way, so don't have any chance of interfering with the tire. Nice and flush on this side, a little bit of overhang on the back side, but generally speaking, just a nice, much better look without those big gaping holes. And that is it for Budget Bronco today. Thanks for watching. If you like the videos and the mods I'm doing, please hit that subscribe button. Got a lot of other cool things in the works. Thanks for watching.